Hello guys, today we talk about the sequel to the most overrated movie of all time. So yes, I finally sat down just like a Captain Marvel and saw his angels and watched this movie. Yep, I finally sat down and watched this movie. And I'll be telling you if it's bad or good. Of course, the Disney and Pixar fanboys are not going to listen anyways, no matter what I say or do, because they can call it a masterpiece regardless because it's made by Pixar, which is a completely stupid argument, but that's how they are. They're not listening to whatever I say. So, we'll be going over, and I bet, and yeah, this is probably one of the worst of movies that gross $1 billion. Yes! This movie grossed $1 billion. But lots of good movies did not. There were some funny moments like when Jack Sack fought against the raccoon and some other funny moments. But again, Birds of Prey had funny moments and that movie was still bad. Birds of Prey had a bad story, bad characters, and bad writing. But of course, it's because it's made by Pixar, it's automatically assumed to be a masterpiece. Because Pixar is also owned by Disney, and anything made by Disney is automatically a masterpiece. Just look at Cruella's reviews. The fact that that movie is considered better than The Dark Knight is absolutely absurd. But this is the world we live in, where Disney gets perfect reviews just because they make a movie. And yeah, this movie made $1.243 billion, which means this movie made more money than movies like Return of the King. It made more money than the newer Spider-Man movies, the entire Dark Knight trilogy, just because of that Disney logo and nostalgia. This is why I tell people nostalgia is a very powerful weapon that Disney is willing to use to make movies make billions of dollars. Maybe once when the Lion King remix on TV, I'll watch it to see how bad it truly is. I wouldn't be surprised if it is bad. Because this movie is the most mediocre movie I have ever seen in the history of movies. If you want to see the definition of a lot of superhero movies that have been released were actually even good. I even liked the Justice League movie. Even that movie was better than The Incredibles 2. But of course, because Justice League was not made by Disney, that means it's horrible. Because that's how the world works. Even though the newer Justice League is supposed to be a masterpiece, but I did not see it yet because I don't have HBO Max, and Warner Bros. Is too much of pussy to release it on goddamn Blu-ray, even though they released it in the UK already for like 2 weeks. But yeah, now let's talk about the actual movie itself and stop talking about Disney. So basically, the movie starts off with the superheroes being bad, which is basically, yeah, they're still banned. Then they try to save the day, and then they get arrested because, of course, superheroes are apparently bad in the Incredibles universe because they did bad things years ago. Oh yeah, that thing totally didn't happen in Marvel. Okay, yep. And of course, I already talked about how this movie is basically just a ripoff of the Fantastic Four, which, which will make Pixar fanboys try to rip their hairs out. Because how could it be a Fantastic Four ripoff if it's about a family? Like, you know what? You guys do the same logic for Secret Life of Pets. Okay, that is a Toy Story ripoff. Okay, you guys did the same logic, and Pets was actually a pretty funny movie. It isn't a masterpiece, but it's still a pretty funny and enjoyable movie. But Pixar fanboys will cry and whine over that movie because the plot is somewhat similar to Toy Story. Somewhat similar to Toy Story. There are lots of movies with that similar plot. Okay, but this movie is basically the Fantastic Four ripoff. But superheroes are banned worldwide, which makes no sense. But of course, we're using the Disney logic. That's supposed to make total sense. Why would he ban superheroes? Again, they tried to do it in Civil War, where they wanted to regulate superheroes so less damage was caused around worldwide. But wouldn't you want a group of heroes for protecting the world? And it would be different if the superheroes are evil. Well, like in The Boys. But no, this is supposed to be a kids movie. I already talked about my gripe to the original Incredibles. Most of the problems of the first Incredibles still go on in this movie. One of the good things about the movie is the animation. The animation isn't as bad as the first movie. The first movie, of course, was made in 2004, but the first movie had average animation, as much to Pixar fanboys saying they're saying it isn't. But this movie actually does have decent animation, definitely much better than comparable movies that came out in 2018. But that's the only thing going for this movie. This is basically a generic superhero movie. But because it's made by Disney and Pixar, it's considered a masterpiece. Let's look at the score on IMDb. A 7.6 on IMDb. Which means, yes, according to IMDb, Alita Battle Angel is worse than this movie because Alita was not, of course, published by Disney. I bet if it was published by Disney, it would have like an 8.5 or something like that. Whereas I'm surprised because most of the people who watched Alita liked it, except for IMDb apparently. Whereas again, it's still much better than Rotten Tomatoes, where to give every Disney movie now a 97%, a 96 to 97%, which is absolutely absurd because no other companies do that and get that many bot reviews compared to Disney. And that's why I don't really trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore. And yeah, a lot of people said this movie deserved a sequel. Yes, this movie deserved a sequel. I didn't like the first movie to begin with. Yes, the first movie had some funny moments, but again, there were some bad movies that do have good moments. Okay, Birds of Prey is one of them. Birds of Prey was a very bad movie. Okay, and now the new thing is this: there's this girl who is the twist villain. Okay, twist villain. Like, oh yeah, we have not seen that 100 times before. Okay, but it's okay when Disney does it. It's not original when Disney does it. Okay, Pixar is supposed to be the company of originality. And actually already knew the girl was a villain from, other lists on Wine, ranking, villains and stuff, and she was on that list. But her plan basically wants to make superheroes illegal forever. Why? Oh yeah, by mind controlling them. Like, you can obviously tell that they're not the same person, that they're being mind controlled. Like, she really thinks people are that stupid, and the villain is probably one of the worst villains in any of Pixar's movies. It's just why. So she wants to apparently mind control all the superheroes to make them destroy it. So they can make them illegal. Like, people are obviously not going to tell that she was mind controlling them. The fact that they need to wear those glasses to be mind controlled is absolutely dumb. They also introduce all these other characters, but of course, they don't really get any character development at all. And they're basically the side characters. Now I feel this makes the Eternals look pretty bad already, because that's gonna have like 10 or 15 characters. They could have made it. They could have easily made enough. They could have easily made a TV series introducing each character, so at least people know about the other characters that is working together as superheroes. At least the main ones that they introduced, not the other ones they introduced. They were protecting the other countries. And also, they also introduced the fact that there were superheroes in other countries. But of course, because it's about the Incredibles, they didn't really expand any more on that. The fact that they have all these other characters, but they focus on one group of heroes, is kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe making just 3 Iron Man movies, and just that's it. Putting all these other superheroes in the movie, and they're saying, oh yeah, we have all these other characters, but we don't want to tell you anything about them. And it's going to probably be another 10 years before we get a third one. And yeah, probably they're going to forget all these other characters exist, and let's go back to this drawing board. But at least superheroes at the end of the movie are now legal again. Am I right? Superheroes can finally be superheroes for once in their lifetime, and they won't have to be persecuted in the movies anymore. Even though that plot point has already been done in Captain America Civil War. I know Captain America Civil War as well, and this movie came out after Civil War. I know the first one came out before Civil War, but they basically want to make it like Civil War. Basically, you have the Incredibles versus all the other superheroes, which is basically very similar to Captain America Civil War. The similarities are hard to ignore. War. And all the superheroes, because they were mind controlled, become good at the end, and everybody saved the day. So yep, what is The Incredibles 2? It is a painfully generic average superhero movie that is no better than the first one, which is already painfully overrated. And now there you go. I have officially seen both of the movies. And this is a small proof that Disney is going downhill. This actually was on TV. Yeah, it was. The next movie that I record from Disney is Coco, but I have not seen it yet, so. And yeah, don't listen to my original review if it's still up on YouTube about it, because I actually have not seen the movie. So, but I have now seen The Incredibles 2. So people can now so the people who say, you have not seen The Incredibles 2, don't say it's bad. Well, I didn't like the first movie. You think I'm going to not like the second movie? So you want to watch a better superhero movie? Well, just watch a lot of the MC movies, except for Captain Marvel. That movie can just go to hell, and For the Dark World. For at least this movie is better than at least 3 of the Marvel movies, and those are the worst Marvel movies as well. Iron Man 2, and For the Dark World, and of course Captain Marvel. And it's definitely better than most of the DCEU, because the DCEU has Suicide Squad, one of the complete garbage, Turds of Prey, which I also reviewed on this channel, and Batman vs Superman, which is one of my first movie reviews on this channel, and how bad that movie was. And let's not forget, DC was also created Batman vs Robin. But Marvel doesn't have its fair share of bad movies as well. We also have X-Men Origins Wolverine. We also have Dark Phoenix. And of course we have Captain Prank, or as known as Captain Marvel. At least this movie is at least has some entertainment in it. Unlike Captain Marvel, where it was so bad and boring that the plot was just not interesting at all. At least kids would like this movie. That's one of the only few upsides to this movie. So there we go. So when people tell me that Pixar is going downhill, I'm just gonna point them to The Incredibles 2 and Cars 3. I didn't really like Cars 3 that much either. So, but this is gonna piss off Incredibles fans even more. I think Cars 2 is a better movie than Incredibles 2. Which is not really saying much, because Incredibles 2 is so painfully average to say it is. Like Growth Breaks the Internet, which also came out the same year. And you know what movie you should watch instead of Incredibles 2? Just watch Spider-Verse instead. That movie's far more better than Incredibles 2, and deservedly won Best Animated Feature over this painfully average train wreck that is The Incredibles 2. So yep, there we go. So you want to actually watch a good animated superhero, go watch Spider-Verse. Yes, you can call me a Marvel fanboy all you want, but Spider-Verse actually was a good movie compared to this, whatever this Disney put out. But again, Spider-Verse didn't close $1 billion, but this did because it was made by Pixar, which is completely laughable to see at least. The fact that this grossed $1.23 billion and Spider-Verse did not is absolutely shameful. And there we go. That is my review of The Incredibles 2. Sorry, it's actually one of my longer movie reviews since The Last Jedi, whereas I made a 21-minute rant on that pile of shit. And of course my rant about Captain Marvel, which I was completely correct about that movie, and City Angels, or Charlie's Angels. Well, it seems that whenever a movie I don't like comes around, it's much more easy to describe the bad things of a movie. Because when you talk about a good movie, there isn't really anything basically to say what has already been said unless it's an unpopular opinion. Then you have to go around defending that unpopular opinion because you have these people putting up Rotten Tomatoes as a source of why a movie is bad or good. Which I don't use Rotten Tomatoes as a source as a movie is bad or good because they gave Cuties an 82%. Any critics that say Cuties is a good movie automatically loses my trust. So that's basically about The Incredibles. Go away now.